Welcome to Books on Tap. We're
Welcome.
back. We're back again once again.
Welcome.
We got
Happy New
your
Year.
hosts. Happy New Year. Yeah.
2024.
Back again
we
once
take
again.
off.
Started the year with Brando Sando last year, and we're doing it again. So
Dude, hell yeah.
Has it been that
Brando
long?
is the bookend to a good life.
Has it been
Yes.
that long? It's been that long. How long have we been
We're
doing
on-
this for?
we're
Holy
on
crap.
Book of Radiance. I'm pretty sure. Maybe on Oathbringer.
Okay,
I
I
don't-
technically
Wow.
didn't start with you guys at the beginning though.
We're in March or
That's right.
something?
Like what,
Oathbringer was
February
our
or
first
March.
book. 3 of us.
Yeah.
Right, I remember it was at
I think I
New
caught up
Year's when we
midway
talked
through
to you.
Oathbringer too. I think it was like, or did we
It
start
was
on Oathbringer?
on New Year's Day, I think
No,
it
we
was.
started on Oathbringer. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, it was on New Year's Day. We went to breakfast with you, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, and you guys told me about
Right down the
Brando.
road from my brothers in Kitsilano, Vancouver. And,
Yeah. And
yeah.
you told me about it. I think you told me something really weird. It was like a bunch of king people. I remember you guys told me something that was like sounded super cool. I was like, I have to read that. Then I remember starting to read it, and I'm like, this sounds absolutely nothing like what the fuck you guys are describing it as.
Well,
Well, glad it worked though.
Yeah,
it all was
I
part of the
liked it even
plan.
more.
There you go.
Wow, the 1 year. We're past the 1 year anniversary of Dylan buying the Stormlight series.
Yeah, and we're
Am
past
I
the
now?
1 year of the
Did I buy
pod.
it immediately? Maybe
I remember
did.
Rylan telling me, relaying me the information that he told you about the series, and you bought it immediately.
I think you ordered like the 3-pack or whatever it was, like
Yeah,
really quickly.
I did order the 3-pack. It went hard, bro.
You didn't mess around. You're like, I'm gonna join this pod, and it's gonna be incredible.
You did.
That was the reason you did.
Yeah. Well, I
That's
don't know.
good,
I'm
man. That's
hanging out with you guys.
crazy.
Wanted an
Over a year.
excuse to hang out with the boys, and the book sounded
Yes.
great. And now look where we are.
We're back.
Mistborn homies getting absolutely mind fucked by the Cosmere right now with
Getting
this book.
stoked to read our next nonfiction book. That's what we're doing here.
It's all about the nonfiction milestones. So
We started with nonfiction on this podcast, and we will
we
continue
did,
to
we
deliver
did
for
not,
all
we
you big
did not
fans.
start with nonfiction.
You're right.
Yeah.
It was a fiction book, but it was a it was a jank.
It was
nonfiction
savage.
philosopher book.
I mean,
Yes, you're right.
like I don't enjoy the nonfiction when I'm reading it, but like I feel like I look back on them fondly in terms of like impact, I guess.
Wait, sorry, I
definitely
think you meant to say you
talking about them.
you do not enjoy reading them itself, but then you look back, looking on them and the discussions. Correct?
Or like I like shitting on them in our podcasts because I didn't enjoy it. And then
There you
and
go.
then I like looking like months later I like looking back and be like, "Oh yeah, I guess some of those themes still pop up
Yeah.
once in a while."
There we go. That's good enough. I have a really good book.
Rylan. Yeah, it's
Sorry.
all part of the plan.
Yeah, I have one of my favorite books of all time, which is definitely changing lots now that we're making this podcast with all these incredible books, but that I've read a couple times, at least once in full, and I'm debating if getting you guys to read it and just butcher it. I think it's so good. It's such a good book. And I've tried to get multiple people to read it, and only like one person's actually finished it, so it'd be cool.
Did they end up liking it?
It'd be cool to make.
Everyone's liked it. Only one person's finished it.
Mhm.
It was I loved it. Yeah, it's called The Social Animal.
Try to get me to read it.
I tried to
I
get
have
Kieran
the
to read it. And Kieran has the book. He's ready. He's dialed in. It's a bit long though. I think it's like
Pretty long.
350, 400, which is pretty
Mhm.
long for a nonfiction. And I do wonder how good it would be for discussion. I don't know. I think it would be fine. It's I don't know. It definitely isn't like something you'd see on a book club, probably.
Mhm.
Anyways, we'll see. We'll talk about that next. I also don't even know if I'm picking a nonfiction book next. I might give
Yeah.
that to Kieran this time. That and have him hold the title of nonfiction. We'll see. Okay, I'm Rylan. Finished intro.
I'm here.
Finish the intro after 20 minutes later. I'm Dylan,
Welcome to
Unfriend.
Books
and
on Tap.
we're doing Bands of Mourning today.
Book
Yep.
6 of Mistobrn. Book 3 of Era 2.
And it really,
Yep.
I can't think of it as book 6. It does not feel like book 6.
It's just helpful to reference when you're talking to other people who don't know too, because like people know
Yeah.
Mistborn, but like say the Wax and Wane,
Wax and
you
Wings.
you narrow
Trilogy
down.
that's not a trilogy.
Yeah, and like what do you even call a four book series?
Yeah.
Quadrilogy? Quadrilogy? I don't know.
I have no idea.
Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts? Let's go with Kieran
First
first.
impression.
I think Dylan, you were first last time.
Hmm.
What are my first impressions? Well, I'm full impressions of this book. I thought it was very entertaining. Potentially the most entertaining for me. Maybe it was also because I was on break from work, so I could enjoy it fully. I really liked some of the character interactions here. Steris was always one of my favorite characters. She got a lot bigger part in this book, which I very much appreciated. Settings were cool. Definitely felt like it was more part by part instead of a flowing story. I thought the ending was very strong and super bombastic and fun and like very worthy of a. If we're calling this the second book in the trilogy and the first book is like a prologue, then it's like a very good mid series, mid trilogy ending. And the rest of the book was just good. So I enjoyed it. I'll leave it there for now. Vaguely.
Hmm. I think I should probably go second here.
Yep.
Because I feel like my opinion's probably the most distant from your guys's. So, like, I enjoyed the book. I didn't enjoy it as much as the other two. And I'm not really sure why, if I'm being honest. There's like a few things that I think contributed to me not liking this one as much. One is I think my expectations for the first two books were a lot lower. And by this time, my expectations for the series had gotten a lot higher, especially because my mom has read it recently, and she said she didn't really like the first two books, but Bands of Mourning was like really fucking good, and she really liked it. She's like, this is where it gets good. So I had like that idea in my mind that like Bands of Mourning, oh, this is where like shit goes down, and shit gets really good. And I also had the expectation there'd be a lot of like big Cosmere like reveals in this one, and I felt the whole time like I was kind of anxious, where I'm like, oh, when are they gonna pop up? When are the Cosmere reveals gonna pop up? I'm so excited, and then they kind of just like didn't. Like they appeared, but not in the way I was expecting at all. They didn't answer any questions. They just gave you more questions. So I think that aspect of it was kind of a bummer for me. But yeah, like riffing off of what Kieran said earlier, Steris, I think this was her best showing. I think Steris might have been my favorite character in this book. Like she was quite interesting throughout the whole thing, and I really enjoyed her parts. And it was fun again. It just felt a lot like the other two. And I also want to 100% echo what Kieran said. Like I was thinking the exact same thing. Is that this book feels very segmented into different parts. It's like it feels like a play where they just like there's like three set background drop swaps and then the show's over. And it really felt like that. I thought. Um, yeah, I think that's like my impressions of the book. I did overall really enjoy it. Um, but yeah, I think I was leading myself to enjoy it worse based on like my pre-book pre-reading knowledge of what was going to happen or expectations.
Right.
I think I would probably resonate better with more with Dylan. I don't think it was as much of expectations. I think it was just kind of my mood. I wasn't really in a reading mood for some reason for a while there, and was reading this, and I don't know. I think reflecting back onto the individual parts, they were all pretty good writing. So I think I'll have to reevaluate at the end of our discussion to see whether it was a lack of quality or if it's just a lack of me being engaged due to things going on in life. But yeah, I guess I don't have too much to say, but I definitely think Steris was one of my top characters for sure. Really stoked that she got more screen time here or book time. I thought she was a great character. I think part of it also is just I felt this one was just a little over the top
Mm-hmm.
in terms of the plot line.
That's a good point.
Just like other ones felt like a bit ridiculous at times, but it was like you could kind of piece it together. Whereas this one just was like too much, like following a little like makes sense, and then sprinting with it and it being the right one. Whereas like the last second, like there's just so many things that were like they just decide to immediately go to this one place where like seconds before the uncle gets there, they're like right like they're like it's just to me it was a bit too far fetched at times, and that took me away from the storyline. So yeah, I think that's definitely a gripe for me, and I think that is partly why I was less engaged in this one. I thought once you got past the improbabilities and like they got to like the final temple, I could kind of relax a bit more because like everything all the improbables kind of could happen like we're already done, and then we could just like get to the final main scene, the climax of the story, and in the climax, I thought they delivered quite well. I thought it was a pretty solid ending, and I love the part with the uncle and just like uncle's always one step ahead, and it's so cool to see him get out of situations time and time again, and yeah, I'm really excited to discuss the book because I think not looking at the improbabilities of Wax figuring out everything all the time, it was a solid book.
And winning a shootout between like 60 people.
Yeah.
Plus at least.
There's like 60 people shooting him, and then there's like all like the like 20 like 20 no, what are they, not sorcerers, but
Allomancers. Yeah.
Yeah, and like they have like kill squads coming in. And, like it just everything kind of slows down for like what it feels like so long, where it's like it doesn't, I don't know, it's just like yeah, a couple parts like that, and then just him following leads that are like all right, one time makes sense,
Yeah, he's
but
definitely
like 5
getting.
times in a
I'm
row.
on board with the divine guidance thing now. I wasn't on board last time, but the only thing that makes sense now.
But he's not even, he didn't even have the earring in.
He's too overpowered.
I don't know. He's OP.
He
He's
didn't
got
even have an earring in. He's just kind
I
of
mean,
like falling.
he's got the
punches.
mists
Going in
are
him.
around him, dude. Like
Yeah.
the mists are guiding
Yeah.
him. He feels the strength of the mists
I don't know
pulling
what's
towards
going
him.
on. I don't know if that helps my thoughts. That makes it better or worse for me. I guess it makes it better, but I don't know. Anyways,
Yeah.
I feel like it was
No,
a pretty
I also-
strong book.
I really resonate with your with the like it was really over the top. It kind of took me out of things as well. I
Yeah,
think
like
that
the
definitely.
airship.
Yeah.
The airships and stuff, and like, yeah, that was one of the main things. That was pretty crazy. But
Yeah.
the cube, the Elementic grenade, which is pretty cool actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was cool. They added so much shit to the world in this book. It was just like it was a bit much, I think.
Yeah.
He was like he needed to add a bunch for the finale because he didn't like expand the world at all in the other two books. It would have been nice if some of it was like spread out along the first two books because I feel like it would have felt better introducing it earlier on, I think.
I
That's
totally
crazy.
agree.
There's so much
It was
technology they didn't know about, and it like felt like it came out from outer world, but it was
yeah,
like
it's like
south, like a part of the
he
world.
introduced
I
he
think.
introduced so much stuff, but it was all in this book. So it's like nothing really got its time of day. It was just like
Yeah,
it's here, it's here now, and you don't really get any time to explain why it's here, or even get to see it being in the world that much.
Yeah, like it seemed a bit weird them introducing like people that weren't there at the origin that exist in the world. Because like I feel like like that was something that I considered and then like dismissed because because like it said that he moved everyone there that was left alive.
yeah,
Yeah,
that was really.
so
I was very
Deadpool to pass
surprised.
on everyone. He's like gonna spawn these like other people in a different area of the world.
Like an advanced technologically ahead of everyone else.
Hmm.
All right, should we go into this part by
Yeah,
part?
let's get going.
Yeah, it's a prologue. Um, Great prologue. Wax is a teenager living in the village, sneaking out to the city with his sister and her friends. He learns that a constable is visiting the village about a recent arson, so he bugs out and eavesdrops on his grandmother. Later in his room, he spies on one of his friends, Forge, outside in the rain. He goes to investigate and finds him torturing a young boy. Forge attacks, and Wax manages to kill him with a bullet he stole from his grandmother. He realizes that his destiny is fighting crime away from the village. Super solid, in my opinion.
Yeah, I thought it was a good intro. I enjoyed it.
It's very intense. I felt the intensity of the action sequence with Forge
Yeah,
and him killing him, and like the consequences of that action felt palpable because it was quite a long prologue. So you like he did a really good job of introducing the grandmother and Telson and like all these different groups in a short amount of time to make you feel like you were part of that village, and then you were exiled with along with Wax. It's really cool.
Yeah, and it feels kind of necessary, I think, for the stuff that happens later to have more significance.
yeah.
Telson and just Wax's character.
Yeah. If anything from this book, I'm excited about like I guess maybe I'm not excited. Maybe I'm just like anticipating where Wax's character is gonna end up going in Lost Metal. Um, because I hope it's not something like super generic. But I feel like Brando wouldn't do something like that. But he seems like kind of a generic character. But I don't know. We'll see. I think he's set himself up so that Wax can have like a satisfying like character arc by the end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
But
Yeah,
still left to
I wouldn't
execute.
mind if he has a more not as deep arc, just because it's like it goes along with the more simplistic, like just the shorter, just a result of being a shorter series, shorter books. As long as I think it's just as long as it makes sense for his character at this point. But
Yeah, I don't know. I hope
I
it's
can
not
see where
just
it's
like
going, basically.
it doesn't just boil down to Brandon like making you ask the question to yourself. Sometimes I guess you should follow the law, and sometimes you shouldn't.
That's the
Probably.
thing, though. I think it might be that.
I hope it's not, dude. I don't know. It feels like he's tried to insert enough of like the questioning stuff about Wax that it would feel weird if there wasn't some kind of like arc for Wax by the end of it.
But right now, we're kind of in like a be true to yourself zone at the end of the book for everyone. So,
Yeah.
that's the moral of the story.
Mm.
All right, part 1.
6 months after the death of Palm, Wax and Steris go to their wedding, but it is interrupted by a nearby water tower falling on the church, allowing Wax to put off the marriage. He's still struggling with killing Lessie. When Wax goes home, he finds Milan and another Khandra, Vendel, asking Marassi for help. Another Khandra named R'hllor was seeking the bands of Mourning and came back wounded and missing a spike. They discuss various possibilities with combining Fruchemy and Hemalurgy. Wax agrees to help recover the spike because his sister has been kidnapped. Do you guys think that the
with the slideshow presentation, the PowerPoint
The power.
that was cool?
from the Khandra.
That was funny.
Yeah.
It was just like, yeah. It's a bit funny how like God knows everything, and he's like, oh yeah, you'll figure this out in a couple years. It's like the Khandra are like, yes, God has joked to us that we'll be really surprised when the pictures start moving. It's like,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like you let it slip by accident.
yeah,
That was
bit
a
of a meme.
Good meme. Such an information dump. I think I was reading this at like 11 p.m. in my bed with the lights off, and I was like, I must remember all of these details. But it was, I meant to go back and read it again, but I never got around to it.
Yeah, I feel like this book, out of all the Brandon Sanderson books I've read so far, um, shows like the religious influence on his writing a bit. Specifically, like the end of this book, I thought was and parts like these, I think, kind of show a bit of his religious thinking, the way he portrays gods and stuff in this book, specifically that harmony.
Interesting. What do you mean by that?
Well, I mean, maybe it's like because this fits a bit later in the book, but I mean, like one of the classic philosophical arguments about the existence of God is like that he allows suffering to occur, and like
Oh
he directly
Yeah,
kind of
true.
addresses that. Like he puts his kind of opinion of that uh argument out in this book through Harmony. Um, it was just something like it wasn't something I dislike. I actually quite enjoyed his commentary on it. I thought it was like quite well done. It was just something I was aware of, and this is kind of like the first time I was kind of aware of it.
Hmm.
Yeah, that is
Good
very
point.
true. It was a very, yeah, I'm sure it was definitely.
But he's Mormon, right? Brandon Sanderson.
I think so,
Yep.
yeah.
Brandon Sanderson's Mormon. It's weird because I felt like, well, now this is actually all thrown up into the air, but with the first 5 books of Mistobrn, with Kelsier, the survivorist religion being basically entirely made up because of an event, was like almost counter to all religion. So I'm like, it's interesting Brandon Sanderson put this in there because it's basically like how the martyr becomes a god story, which is like you could use to so many real world religions as like a counter to them.
Yeah, like I think like
I was like, oh, it's interesting, Brandon
yeah.
Sanderson.
It's quite interesting that he really does try to. I feel like he tries to show all the different sides to any of like the questions that he brings up, or like tries to have you question. I feel like he very seriously like proposes like answers from both sides in most of the stuff that he writes, and I appreciate that quite a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he seems to show respect for all the other. I think him showing just how like religions can come from anything is kind of showing maybe the beauty in all religions, that they all have a place. Maybe he respects other religions. I'm not sure. Like just like when I think back to last trilogy.
Yeah, even if he is inserting his own beliefs into this, I still think he does overall. He does pretty well at being unbiased.
Yeah, and sorry, I don't want to say that or like make it appear that I think he's inserting his beliefs in this book. It just the only thing I know, like, because I do think that he approached it well, and it just felt like I could see the religious influence on this one a bit more so than I could in like say Stormlight or the other Mistborn books. Um, it did seem like this one was focusing on religion a bit more, or like directly address. I think specifically it's like the direct conversations with God, where he was. I feel like he kind of put himself in a bit of a tricky situation there, where he has to like basically write God as a character
Yeah. It definitely feels like
who isn't
Shazam is
even
the most.
technically a god, you know? Yeah, it kind of
Yeah,
is,
he's the
but
most like god-like figure from our world
hmm
that we've seen in Brandon Sanderson's books. Like in terms
yeah,
of like Christianity or Islam or Judaism.
yeah.
The
Even
one
God's just trying to
idea.
do his best with what he can.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I felt this intro was pretty standard in general. Um,
Yeah, it definitely felt like a Mission Impossible like mission briefing. Like it's like, okay, we lost contact with Wheeler 3 days ago in the Alps. He collected information here. Check your page 3 of your case file. And it's like check. It's like if I just imagine like the like stereotypical like blueprint, like 3D model, like blue 3D model that a bunch of spy movies use as this scene to explain everything that was happening.
mhm.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
Oh
I
yeah,
just missed for a
100%.
second there, so I didn't hear everything you said. So sorry about
Yeah, no, it felt very bog standard like spy movie, like
Yeah.
with all the intro stuff. And it did feel, I feel like, very samey to the other books. That was maybe one of the other thing, like the takes I had on this one is it felt maybe a bit too samey to the other two to me. Um,
I can see that.
like they all kind of had the same arc, and I feel like Stormlight kind of also has the same arcs, like, but there's more variety within the arcs, I think, but in Stormlight versus here. I don't know. It just felt a bit samey to me. Just read like this intro felt kind of samey to like the previous one. The middle part felt a bit samey. Like this,
Yeah,
there's
well,
there's like a
the
formula for these
ballroom,
Mistborn books, I
ballroom,
feel.
the ballroom mingling scene was like definitely like stolen from like a bunch of the Mistborn books already.
Yeah, like
that.
ballroom scene, some fight in some compound, uh, confrontation um, with the killer, or like the
Yeah.
the bad guy, the suspect at the end. Like, yeah, I don't know. It felt like kind of, but yeah, it's not to say I didn't enjoy it. It just because I really enjoyed the first two. I just this one did start to feel a bit more fatigue with it.
Mm. It's interesting how they've used Marassi twice now to get to Wayne. Like Aradel was confirmed. By the way, that was my take, and you guys were opposed to it. That he got hired. She got hired because of Wax. It was confirmed, which was satisfying.
Sorry, what
And
was the
then
take? I can't remember this.
I asked you guys, do you think that Marassi got hired Because of wax. You guys said no.
Yeah.
Both you guys.
I think we said partially.
Yeah, I think we said partially, but she would have been hired anyways. 'Cause did he say he hired her 100% because of wax? I thought he just said it was a
Yeah,
consideration,
No,
or
I'm
part of
pretty
it.
certain they 100% confirmed. I was really surprised. It came out of nowhere. I don't even know. Was
Oh,
it this
don't
book or
remember
last
that
book?
at all.
I think that was last
Oh
book.
man, I think it was last book, man.
Yeah, I think it was last book.
Hmm.
But
I'm
no,
pretty
but
sure
the
it was.
last
It was
book is
random. I don't even know where it came
where he
up.
brought it up. We did the whole book last time too.
Yeah,
I know. I
he,
forgot to bring it up. It was a really small part.
yeah, because
But
I'm
again,
pretty sure
I'm
it
bringing.
wasn't. He said that it was part of the reason, which we didn't disagree with.
Oh, get out of here! Get out of here! It was confirmed. It was hardcore confirmed, 100%. And then you guys were
Okay, well,
very like,
in the last book, they definitely confirmed, or like Marassi definitely had the thought that she was hired specifically because she was connected to Wax.
Yeah,
That was definitely in the last book. I don't remember anything after that being related to that though.
she had a
I gotta find it.
conversation with
So-
Aradel in book 2, where she asked him basically, and Aradel said, like, yeah, I considered you because
Oh
you're
my
close
goodness.
to
Well, I'm gonna spend the
wax.
next 5 minutes trying to find this while you guys keep talking. Anyways, the point I was making was
Yeah,
because this
yeah.
was a random, I don't know who was saying it, but came up, and I'm pretty sure it was 100% confirmation, and it wasn't a conversation. It was like just like a shout out to Rylan Horvat for his great take.
That's unbacked.
Which
That's
wasn't even a
unbacked.
big take. I just was like asking you guys this question. I was definitely more on the side of for being
Well done,
handed.
sir.
Well done, bro.
Anyways,
You did it.
it's interesting how again here it seems very evident that reason Veracity to wax. So
Sorry, what was that last bit?
Sorry, I'm blank and hard.
it's interesting how
What was this
again, like here they're like, oh okay, wax you can't do it. We'll just go to Marassi. And then there's
Oh yeah.
he's obviously to get to wax.
Yeah.
Oh, at the beginning, yeah.
Yeah, they did that again.
Well, that was different people, but yeah, I know, I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah, it's different people, but it's the same thing. It's
They're
kind of
trying their hardest to make Morassi feel unwanted.
it's weird because they're trying to like it makes it sound like they're trying to take wax off his pedestal sometimes, and then they like
Then
just
they put him
reinforce
straight
like
back on.
like wait like every time they reinforce it, he gets like higher on the pedestal. He's not that godly, but then he's an actual god now. Like I don't know, it's like
We need him though. Everyone's like, fuck this guy, man. His methods are awful.
yeah.
Basically, everything about him sucks, but he gets shit done. So we got to hire him again. So
Yeah.
every time. It's like, yeah.
I'm gonna look for that part real quickly, but you guys keep going.
Yeah.
So I wanna.
I think that's basically it for part one, though.
Yeah,
Pretty
part
short.
1 was pretty minor. This book actually felt a lot shorter than I thought it was going to be. Because like this book didn't feel that much longer than the last one, and it looks a lot bigger.
It was pretty long.
I felt like I flew
Fun,
through this
but-
one like as fast as the last one. And like I remember feeling like 2/3 of the way through, I'm like, wow, this book is like a lot shorter than I thought it was. Did you guys know? You guys felt
Going
differently?
back to the fact that it don't. Well,
Yeah,
I
wow.
think I felt long because each part lasted a lot longer than I was expecting it to.
Hmm.
But on the other hand, there's only 5 parts distinctly, which made it feel short. So it's kind of balanced.
Yeah,
I felt
they
like it was properly. What I thought was how long it was was that what it actually was.
Yeah, they definitely could have cut down part 2, I think. I mean, we'll get to that.
Typically for me, the longest feeling scenes were the train scene and the warehouse scene.
Yeah, exactly. The train scene and the warehouse scene both could have been cut short, I think. I was specifically thinking the warehouse one when I was thinking, but yeah, I agree. I wasn't thinking of the train scene, but the train scene also did feel quite long. Speaking of the train scene,
I can take part 2 here. Maybe I'll just read half of the part 2 summary first. Wax, Marassi, Milan, and Wayne head to New Saran, the last place Reeler was seen. Steris comes along as is proper for a fiance. Their train is attacked by the Night Street gang, but Wax believes it is only a diversion from his uncle. He presses on with his original objective rather than chase the remnants of the gang. Wax, Steris, and Milan go to a party held by Helicina Shores, where Wax receives a strange coin from a beggar on the way in. When he bluntly asks her about the coin, she makes an excuse and leaves the party. Steris creates a diversion by suddenly vomiting, allowing Wax to try to find her. He finds her in a room talking to Mr. Suit via radio. A female steward shows up, killing Helicina. Wax and Milan manage to kill her and confiscate a gold bracelet filled with health. Pause there.
Okay, yeah. Sorry, I was on the wrong. I was reading the wrong thing. It's on the wrong wiki. Um, yeah, the train
Basically,
fight
everything up into
definitely felt a lot longer.
the train fight and the ballroom.
Yeah. The ballroom I quite liked. I thought
I
the
did as well.
ballroom bit was good. They changed it up a bit with him like sneaking around afterwards after the ballroom bit. I did
think-
like that aspect of it.
It also did feel like it was an improved formula for the spying through conversation motif.
I would agree.
I liked the first interaction with that guy where he like purposely insults Wax and then purposely insults Steris to get out of the conversation, and like you see it from Wax's perspective, so you get mad, but then you're like, we've all been played like a fiddle in this moment. Which was really good. Steris and Wax's interactions throughout this whole book were great and definitely really get highlighted in the ballroom scene. Like, I like the informant who's just chilling by the corner by the column, and then he's like, everyone's just paying him for information the whole time, and he's just there, and everyone knows why he's there.
Yeah, it felt very Mistobrn Era 1.
Yeah,
Found it.
super first book.
It's going though.
Was it in book 3 or was it in this book or the
This
last
is a book, yeah.
Oh,
It was this book?
Yeah. That makes more sense too, because I forgot that last book was like literally when we had all the discussions, so it wouldn't have made sense. I got the job at the precinct and thought I'd accomplished something, but Aradel later admitted he was first interested in hiring me because he wanted someone who could get close to and keep an eye on Wax.
Yeah, first interested in.
Hey, that's like
Yeah.
that's why she hired her, and then it was like,
Oh, okay, wait,
yeah,
yeah,
I did not interpret that as a confirmation 100%.
Yeah.
It's also from Marassi's point of view, A, and B, and I
No.
thought it was a callback to that exact interaction we were talking about in book 2.
Yeah. Where he admitted that he was interested in her because he was Wax, because she was close to Wax, but like her skills also were there.
all right. See you.
Yeah.
Wrong, but it's all good.
It's okay to be like, for us all to be right here.
Unacceptable.
No. Dude, when fucking Wax walks in there and then he gets the murder pinned on him, that just felt really bad.
Like bad writing?
I don't know. Was
Bad.
it?
Feels bad, man.
It feels bad, man, for me. Like I was getting a bit anxious there. I'm like, bro, really? Like you couldn't have done something slightly differently. Like he kind of I feel like he kind of walked into that one.
I think
Yeah.
they could have done that to him any time. Like it was so easy to play that on him. It didn't matter what he did. Like randomly, kill someone when he's close to someone, and then run away. Like how are you supposed to counter that? If it didn't happen then, it would have happened somewhere else. He would have gone to the washroom, and then they would have just killed everyone in the washroom except for one person who had ran out or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's kind of true.
Yeah,
It was a feel bad
I think
moment.
the radio was an unexpected element, so he thought he would walk in on a suit, and then it would have been good. It would have been worth it for him if he could have either implicated his uncle or just killed his uncle. But instead, he just got caught.
Yeah, I feel like it seemed a bit stupid
I
for
guess
him to
that
jump in there and like reveal himself.
it was dumb.
Like
It
he
was a little
didn't
bit dumb.
get he literally didn't gain anything from showing himself.
Actually, yeah, that was pretty stupid. Now you say that, could have just listened and got the information.
And then just left. Like, yeah.
Like, yeah, he clearly is human. I think that Wax could take on, as we see in this book a lot of times, he takes on like a superhuman, godlike figure. But like, I think that that's what creeps him grounded a bit, is that when it comes to his sister and his uncle, he acts a bit irrational. I think
Yeah,
it's fine.
they bluntly point out that flaw at the end
Yeah.
of the book. I guess the radio kind of reminds me, like, we were kind of dogging on the amount of crazy shit that happened as introduced technology wise, but thinking back to Brandon's like pre-book note from the first Wax and Wayne book, as this being a mirror to the early 1900s, the amount of technology that was introduced in that era, I guess he's trying to go for that in some ways. So like the invention of the airplane, of the motor vehicle, the radio. So I guess an airship does make sense because we invented Zeppelins at the same time. Just using Allen-Nancy as part of the formula.
Yeah, it must have been a crazy time. If we don't have things like that now, and I think it's because we hear about any single development that happens before it actually comes out. So we hear about it like 5 years before it comes out, and then we slowly hear every development of it. When it comes out, it's like anticlimactic. Whereas back then, there must have been some times where that time period was a lot
open the newspaper
shorter.
And you're like,
yeah.
people just went flying in an airplane. You're like, what the fuck? You're like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And also, I wonder, just like public access to fantasy and like all these different books and like there's so much more knowledge that we always can. It's so much easier for our brain to imagine crazy things happening. So when they do happen, it's less surreal. Like the first time someone flew must have been just insane. And the first time the radio, like, yeah, those discoveries just seem so special.
Yeah, it's like those
You guys
memes.
think?
Born too late to explore the oceans and too early to explore space.
Rip F in the chat. Did you guys think that the new Saran political stuff was gonna be a lot bigger part of the book based on this part?
Yeah. Did you guys? Okay, I want to look back at the exact wording one day, but I did call that it was not going to be in Ellendale. Maybe it was like a low key call out, but I was like, I'm pretty sure it's gonna be somewhere else. They're gonna go somewhere else because that's how Aradal's not gonna be involved, and that's how he's not gonna die.
Boom.
I don't know if how
Yeah,
confident I sounded.
Yeah,
You gotta be confident with the takes, or else they don't mean anything.
exactly.
And you look
But
like
Aradal didn't die.
later on.
But
Yeah.
Yeah, the train scene was alright. I think one of my
Dude, I was so shook
Fine.
at the end of the train scene, bro. Dude, like the whole fucking thing with Wayne and Milan.
Oh.
That was like I was
yeah.
so unexpected. Like when she's talking, she's like, Yeah, I just ate like a 16-year-old girl. It was like,
Oh
what
yeah,
the fuck, bro? Like, why? This isn't the book? Oh my god. Yeah,
Yeah.
I was
so
a bit
unexpected
shook
for
by
Brandon.
that. Yeah.
That was a way out of left field for Brandon Sanderson. Yeah.
Yeah, the action scene in that situation was definitely low. I thought that was probably one of the best parts with Ceres, probably with Ceres and Wax was such a cool little conversation they had, and her getting caught with the book. That was so funny. I really like
Oh,
that.
Mm,
that was
And
good.
then
I forgot about that. That
yeah,
was so good.
that's funny. Yeah.
and then it ends with Wayne and Milan. The whole time we're thinking like Wayne just got captured or this big thing happened. I thought that was really good comedic relief and very unexpected. Made it very different from other scenes.
Yeah, those are some good character moments.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And with
And Marassi with
like
her slow down time was a big play too.
oh,
Yeah.
that was good. That was good. Yeah, now that you're bringing all these good scenes up,
Yeah.
I think it's
It
better
was
than
fun.
I initially remembered it being.
Yeah, I think so as well. I
Especially
think
the
the more
waterfall.
time, yeah, I think the recency bias on like the disappointment felt bad, but like I feel like the longer it takes, like I look back on it fonder, you know?
Did think. Yeah, actually, we'll get to this later. We'll get to
Hmm.
this when we get to part 5 or 4
Should we
or
do
whatever the
Three.
last part is. 3.
yeah. Should we do the like next part of part two?
Next part of part 2. Yeah. Meanwhile, Wayne and Marassi go to a graveyard to try to find the missing spike. They are attacked by members of the set, but Wayne uses his healing and slider abilities to take them all down. They search the corrupt gravekeeper's ledger book and pay a visit to Templeton Fig, the man who sent the assassins. They bluff him into revealing that the spike was sent to Dulcing. Meeting in the hotel room, Wax decides to press on to Dulcing, even though he's been framed for Kelsina's murder and is probably needed back in Ellendale to sort things out.
This is kind of an interesting decision to make. I feel like it was not the classic decision, or maybe it was. I don't know. What did you guys think of his decision to keep going?
It was the classic decision for Wax. I don't know. It seemed to have worked out. I thought the politics was going to blow up and be a main plot line, but it wasn't. So I was like shaking my head at the time, but it doesn't seem to be a problem yet.
Yeah.
I
We'll
just thought
see.
this is the start of the crazy decisions that Wax makes that just all fall into place. But they were
Yeah.
grasping at straws like most of the time, so it's like it is tough. Like they're sent to get a spike in a place they've never been. Like, like what a crazy thing to have to get. And then it's like they're just grasping at straws, and like
Yeah.
they get a clue here, which is great. That was the one clue they get, they happen to work with, and then I guess they don't have anything, so they go to Dulcing. Wait, yeah, I guess sorry, they have something. They find out that it's sent there, but
Find out the spike still existing.
yeah.
Yeah. I thought the scene in the graveyard was pretty fun. Another good Wayne scene.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. Him and Marassi
I'm kind
were
of surprised that
funny
Wayne
together.
hasn't really developed that much as a character. Do you guys feel the same way? Maybe I'm just missing
Do you
everything.
think
But
he hasn't? I feel like this book he wasn't this book the scene where he like wait, no, that was the last book where he but this I feel like he's kind of I mean, I guess his character evolution is like, oh yeah, I'm maybe she doesn't like me because she's a lesbian. Like that's basically his character progression.
That's his whole character.
yeah, I guess
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
that's
big.
me.
I guess his other
That was big
bit
for him.
is getting over holding a gun.
Yep.
But yeah, he's definitely like
Yeah.
kind of the side character evolution.
He feels very much like a side character, and I was surprised by that because his name is in the series title.
Yeah, he's very much a sidekick.
Yeah, I feel like even Marassi had
More parts, yeah.
not that big of a change in this book.
Okay, fair. Because I feel like Marassi and Steris definitely feel like bigger characters than Wayne did in this
Marassi
book.
was huge in the last book, I felt,
Yeah.
and the first book. He was
Dude, I
one of the
hope
main
the
characters. He
last
was one of the
books.
two main characters
I
in the
hope the
first book.
I hope Wayne and Wax. I feel like Marassi and Steris are gonna fall back into the sidelines for your prediction. Book 4 is gonna hard focus on Wax and Wayne.
Good
Like they're gonna be
prediction.
the most prominent characters in book 4. They started
Seen the covers.
book
Wow.
1 prominent figures, book 4 prominent figures. Start and ending with Wax and Wayne.
I can see that. I think that makes sense.
Because I would say
I
this
think I
book was
like.
the Steris book. The book before that was the Marassi book, and then book ended by Wax Wayne.
Hope we get more of Steris.
Yeah.
She's gonna be there. She's gonna be quippy, but I don't think she's gonna have any like big character development stuff. Which I
I think
feel
I'm
like
getting a
is
little
which I
tired of
feel like is a bit
Marassi.
bad.
Oddly enough, I think I'm a little. Yeah, I think I'm okay with Marassi getting the least amount of screen time. Even though I liked her so much at the beginning, I think she's still an interesting character, but I'm the least excited for probably for the 4. My take. What do you guys think?
Well, she has I feel like she has the least defined progression at this point.
Yeah. It's an interesting like talk with her
I think I also feel
conclusion.
like I was out of it at the end of the book with her character too. So I don't know. I'm excited to talk about that with you guys when we get there. But
Mhm. Yeah, yeah. I think there's definitely some really good Marassi discussion at the end bit here. Uh,
I like her
specifically
idea
about her
of being
decision.
opposed to Wax. In I really like her a general idea of how she thinks she should fight crime, and opposes Wax and how he handles things. But
Yeah.
she hasn't
Actually,
had like it's not her book. If she had her own book, it was just her going off and like implementing that. That'd be super cool. I just don't really see how she can have a really impactful arc further
I feel like she's
exploring
got
that
to in
within
Lost Metal,
this.
actually. I'm throwing another prediction in. Marassi is gonna have a big part in coming to a political consensus with everyone in book 4 by the end of the book.
Consider the last like the epilogue being
She's
just
gonna
her
be in
like
like
making
yeah,
substantial changes that help everything.
yeah. That definitely, I think.
what about Steris though? Because that's
Dude, I really hope
where the end of
Steris isn't just like back sidelined to just being Wax's wife in book 4. I'd be really disappointed if that was the case.
No, I can't see that being the case. Especially well at the end with the political relations with the masked people. But Steris at the end also points in the direction of her being. Because you guys were saying from Marassi, that's what's going to happen in book 4. But Steris basically takes that role right at the end of this book.
That was a little pretty unexpected. And it was like good, but I was like,
Wait,
I don't know,
sorry,
I
what are
think
you
there's a
guys
little too much
talking
emphasis
about?
on her importance.
Which
Steris
bit?
is at the very end. Steris just like chimes in. And is
What
like,
says
yo, you got
what?
to do
It makes
this.
sense though because she's like that's her experience and her knowledge is in like
Um,
political relations.
yeah, no, but it does make sense.
Hmm.
Yeah, it is. What is a good part?
Hmm.
It felt like a Infinity War like moment where like a human just steps up and like saves the day. Like it's like I don't know. It's like okay, like let
Hey
the
man, you're undervaluing Steris. You're giving her a 7 out of 100, bro.
that's what she's giving herself.
Decent 11. Yeah.
I'm glad. Glad she's just there. I like how she acknowledges
All right.
how odd it is for her to be in those situations.
Yeah, she's
So
always
part
acknowledging. She's very down to earth. She knows what's up.
Yeah, I know it's good.
Yeah.
part three,
All right,
boys.
Part 3.
Okay, yeah.
I'll
I
have to
thought
take
that
this one.
for some reason I had like forgotten some of the little bits. I thought that the this scene in part three was actually in part two. But yeah, part three is long. All right. They head to Dulcing via horse and carriage, but before they get there, they discover a large, unfinished building near a village. Wayne manages to penetrate the defenses. It says using another disguise here, but he didn't use a fucking disguise. He used the tomato splat strategy. And once they all get in, they find some rooms and a large ship that's been slightly damaged. And then they split up to try and find Telson and the Spike. Wax and Wayne end up finding Telson and get in the room with her. And right as they get in there, some dude walks in and Telson shoots him immediately. And then while that's happening, Marassi and Milan find the dungeons where they find a man with a mask locked up in a cage, and they insist that he go with them. And they find the Spike, and then they hear the gunshots from the fight. And then, after a long, hopeless gunfight, the two parties eventually meet up in the ship, and the masked man helps them and leads them through a door to a little escape hatch and a like escape pod boat that could come out of the main boat that somehow the scientists didn't find. That's my only add there. And Wax then uses his allomancy to push the boat into the air while Alec is um, going on about how he's a god. And then they fly towards the Sovereign's temple to get there before Mr. Suit.
Snow Temple.
Snow Temple, bro. We're going to the Ice Temple from Legend of Zelda.
Spy movie infiltration scene.
Yeah. This I love the splat shit. Or like it was such a fucking classic scene where like they're going over like, oh let's try the X strategy. I can't remember any of the names, but it was
Yeah, like all the weird names for the
yeah, the
strategies.
names
Yeah.
for the strategies. It felt very much like the Thor and Loki's like, oh, we're gonna do the help me strategy or whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah, such a classic trope, but good, funny.
Yeah, it was a pretty
The other
funny
characters
one
can
where
like,
fucking Wax just like launches him as far as he can, and then he just splatters on the ground and heals himself. Yeah, this scene was definitely a bit too long, though, I think. I liked the Marassi and Milan bits here when they were split off, but the rest of it and like the fight scene after specifically was just like a bit too long.
hmm,
Yeah. Like they specifically mention here a long, hopeless gunfight. Oh, oh, it was.
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, they
Long.
survived like a bit too long, it felt like, you know?
Yeah,
And the infiltration was so freaking ridiculous. Like that's what, part of the of the top. They infiltrate, successfully get everything they could want and like way more. His sister, spikes, and a bunch of armbands, and then a person who guides them to the final mission, and releases the way they get to the final place. It's like,
yeah. There's one guy left.
and where to go. Like, yeah, that was nuts. Did you guys suspect Telson?
I feel like I kind of did, but like I knew by the end it had to have been, but yeah, she was acting a bit off. It made sense with her character because like at the beginning of the book, she was very like not on Wax's side. it seemed.
Yeah, I didn't expect her to be like the leader of the set though. That's
Mhm.
pretty extreme.
It was good how they portrayed her character, how she was kind of over the top in her shock. She was like super aggressive and like silly.
Yeah, I will say
Just like
I
frustrating.
didn't catch that she knocked the
I
weapon
didn't.
out of.
That was a ridiculous moment, and I'm
Yeah,
really glad it was her. Like,
yeah,
what are the odds that you're in in a ship and someone accidentally knocks an entire bag and hits someone in the head, alerts them. It gets in
yeah.
snow too. It's like a snowstorm.
Yeah.
Yeah, she was being really over the top, so that was satisfying. That
Mhm.
was fake. I didn't see it coming. I just don't. It's
Yeah,
just
I mean,
Highlights.
I feel like I didn't like see it coming, but I also wasn't like surprised by it.
Mhm.
I was like, oh yeah, that makes sense. Was my reaction.
I definitely wasn't shocked. I wasn't like, no
Yeah,
way.
exactly. I wasn't like,
Yeah,
what the hell? She's
It's really odd how like Suit would have that plan. It's just such like 3D chess.
dude, he's a bit too
no, it's
3D
her plan,
chess.
yo. Dude is her minion.
I know, but then it's like, okay, they enter the thing and then it looks like she's a prisoner. And
Dude,
like it
it's
all
Well,
happened so fast.
she
Like she like
shot.
steps in.
They explained it as she shot him, the other guy, the big guy, as a like a as her only option, or else he would have addressed her as the leader.
Sure, but she's in this random small room. I guess it's like an office. I guess. I don't. But then just like there's a couple other scenes before where she was like mentioned and like it's just yeah. Like I'm you're keeping me alive or else I'll kill Tell. I guess that was a good strategy.
Mhm.
Just yeah, very big brain moves.
Yeah, I think
And then she
her
ends up
build.
infiltrating, like, which is like the perfect situation, obviously, for them. Like, nuts.
Yeah.
Nuts.
Well, she has like 300 IQ, which is okay. But
Yeah. I mean, the only thing that's maybe a bit weird is that like they had a picture of her looking all distressed at the beginning of the book,
oh yeah,
right?
I forgot about that in the
Like, where did they
PowerPoint.
get that picture from? Was that like doctored image? Like like it looked like they took it like
Well, okay, how much
when
did
they
they
weren't
describe this image?
looking. Well, he
What was the
said that
resolution?
Telson looked
How close was
distressed.
it? I want to know these things.
Yeah, and that she was being carried off or something. I swear, that's what I
Hey man,
remember.
it's all part of like the Mission Impossible like spy briefing vibe. Okay, you got to have like a really like too good resolution, like too high quality photo of the enemy
Yeah,
in order to make it work.
Catch the
yeah.
300 IQ, it's 400 IQ. I knew Roland was infiltrating them. Decided to get a fake photo so that Wax would see it.
Slipped it into his back
Yeah.
pocket.
Yeah. It's not even a photo Roland took. Just knew he was going crazy and slipped it in, and that's why he actually survived.
Mm,
And then he just took a spike out and put it back in, so he'd forget momentarily what happened.
Yeah.
right. All right. Shall we
Infiltration.
continue?
Wayne, I want to give shout out to the Wayne
Oh yeah,
part in the infiltration where he's pretending to be the engineer and he like flips between two different mentalities with the military. Yeah,
it was good.
good.
That was
Another
so
like
good.
improved formula for that. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a good call out. That was a good part. I loved I loved him talking to like the other engineer dude, and just like saying all these random ass words. Oh no, if we don't do the shimmity beebity bop, the exabenominal will blow up and we're all gonna be fucked. And then the other engineer
Of
scientist
course I know
dude's
that.
like, oh fuck, of course I know that. Well, what are you gonna do about it? It's like, well, I need your help to hold up the thing, the jabba blah blah, while I do the shingity bebop. It's like
Yeah, that's so good.
And he's just like, yeah, I got them to push against the wall. Fucking idiots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was pretty big memes there.
That was
All
awesome.
right,
Awesome part.
Right. Moving on to the next part
moving
of part
on.
3.
Yeah, arriving at the temple, uh, they know that this was where he was seeking the bands of mourning. Relure was seeking the bands of mourning. They travel down a hallway riddled with lethal traps, which they use Milan to trigger all of them because she's a Contra. They arrive at a door that they can't open and go back to the entrance where Edward is finally waiting. They strike a deal and they make it into a room with a dais and broken glass, but no bands. Thinking that it's over, Telsin reveals herself as a mole and shoots Wax. Bum, bum, bum. No one saw it coming. The set takes everyone prisoner while Wax and Wayne desperately escape. Wax is grievously injured, but finds a room with another set of bands that are also fake. Edward takes the bands, thinking they're not ones, and then Wax dies as Wayne looks on him weeping. Then Wax has a talk with God, and he offers him a way back. Meanwhile, Marassi has figured out that the spearhead from the statue is the actual bands of mourning. Everything else was just a decoy to keep people away. And she manages to grab it from her purse under guard because Wayne swapped it out with some pen or something. And starts rampaging with the power. And she immediately goes to Wax and gives him the bands to resurrect him. Wayne hunts down Telsin, shoots her. She ends up getting away in the end. Uh, Suit goes on a nearby ship. Wax chases him, confronts him, throws the bands away, and then they both fall to the ground. And then he captures them and proves to everyone that he's cool and cool and cool. And then they all fly back to Elendel, and Wax marries Steris and happily ever after.
Wow. Quite this. Well done. Summary. Yeah. Quite the summary.
I like the part where Wayne shoots Tesla. At a boss moment.
Yeah. That was a good part.
That was a crazy moment.
Yeah.
That was good.
That was a powerful, just so much anger. Yeah, that was really good. I don't know. This is a different part of Wayne came out in that moment. That was really, really nice to see. Really positive vibes,
Yeah. I liked his conversation after with Wax when he was talking about it.
Yeah.
He purposely left her to live.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about him letting her live like that, but I don't know if it makes it less or more satisfying.
Yeah, I feel like there's definitely kind of the trope in this one that they don't kill them when they're down, and then they end up dying anyways. Like Mr. Suit, they capture him, and then in the epilogue he gets murdered.
Yeah.
I don't know. That was a bit cheesy. It's I feel like the story probably would have been better if Mr. Suit didn't just insta die in prison.
We'll add an epilogue. Some sort of being with red eyes visits Suit in his jail cell. He ominously announces that they're going to end all life on the sphere. Then he detonates a bomb. Wax hears the bomb in his honeymoon suite and wakes up. He examines the strange coin and realizes it is a copper mine. Wax taps the memory and looks through the eyes of the Sovereign.
Who, when he looks down, has the fucking Kelsier arms from the pits of Hathsin.
Yeah, I don't fully understand that. Sorry.
Yeah.
So what's happening there? He's looking.
It's supposed to be it's Kelsier. Actually, the Sovereign is Kelsier.
Yeah.
But maybe it's not.
Who knows, man?
Who's the Sovereign again? Sorry.
He's the guy that
Everyone thought he was the Lord Ruler.
Yeah.
He's the guy that took the knowledge of the metal mines to the mass people.
Yeah. I don't know. The
Hid
whole
and
situation
Mourning
there
from
seems
them.
really weird and just like,
Mm,
what's going on? Like,
Yeah, I don't know. The epilogue is just creates 20 million questions.
dude,
And ends up.
need to go back and read fucking Secret History. Because apparently Secret History was released right after this book, or like alongside this book, so that like questions could be answered, apparently.
makes sense. Yeah, makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah.
Should we read that next?
Uh, I don't know. We should look up online maybe whether people
Yeah.
recommend to read Secret History
Yeah.
before Lost Metal or whether
Let me know. I gotta get that book. I'll
I'll
just
look
get
into
on.
that.
All right, though. The
Anyways,
rest of it.
let's go back to the part three.
Yeah, they land. Yeah,
Second part of
there
part
was a
three.
lot that happened there. It was a cool. It felt very. This ending felt very Indiana Jonesy.
Oh my god, so Indiana Jones.
Dude, it was like the whole time I'm
Absolutely.
like, this is so Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was the first scene of Raiders of the Lost Ark recreated for sure.
Hmm.
Um,
It was fun.
like
It was
the
entertaining.
Marassi and Steris conversation where Marassi's like, or Steris admits that she's in love with Wax, and Marassi's like triggered. It's like, and then also the acid trap that
Oh yeah, yeah.
nobody thinks anything of, but Milan's like, oh shit, they did prepare for Conjure after all. So good.
Yeah, that was a throwback to book three, Mistborn.
Yeah, our boy Tensoon literally had a cameo in the series and never appeared again.
This isn't worthy of his time.
Hell,
Wants to howl at the moon.
dude, we better get. Dude, we need more. What's his face? He better show up in Lost Metal. Fucking um, Death. I think the guy they call Death.
Oh, Marsh.
Marsh. Yeah,
Iron
like,
Eyes.
dude, we need more Marsh, man. Marsh needs a redemption arc on screen, bro.
Yeah, he's had the behind the scenes redemption arc, but
Dude,
he's not on
Marsh
screen.
has like had like the most tragic story, but also like he's kind of just like the only guy that's survived. Like,
I just remember reading the Hero of Ages with you guys and just being like so sad every time Marsh chapter would come up.
dude, Marsh is so tragic. But dude, maybe it looks like Kelsier survived too, bro.
I don't know how I feel about that. If that's real, I hope it's fake. I hope it's some other thing that's
Dude,
happening.
what if it's Spook instead? Or what if it is the Lord Ruler?
I don't know. I hope it's just like it's nothing. None of the old characters.
Wait, bro, what if it's a Chondra, bro? What if it's a Chondra with Kelsier's skin?
Mm. That could make sense based on all we
Kelsier's
know.
I don't know, dude. I feel like it could be anything, man. I don't know, man. It's just too much of an open question right now.
Glad that your guys are confused too.
So maybe they took his body. Wait, no, his body was eaten
Yeah,
by
his body
Orser.
was eaten by Orser.
They have his bones.
Yeah, they've got his bones.
His bones. They have his bones. So they can recreate him, kind of. But then they couldn't have. Yeah, my original thinking was before I remembered that they ate his body was that they healed him with metal mines, and then they made him into a Inquisitor because he was already Mistborn, so he would just be so OP. Fun.
Oh, nah.
And I remember they ate him. So
Yeah. Yeah, dude, I don't know what's going on with the fucking. There's so many questions at the end of this book, man. Like, what's up with the evil red-eyed guy at the end? Like, is he from and the big red ball of
Trell.
mist surrounding the world? Like, is it
Gotta be Trell.
Odium?
That was fake.
So
Is it
Isn't it?
Todium, bro? Is it
Is it
Todium?
real? I thought that was just like a symbolism for outer powers coming to
Yeah,
Samurai.
yeah,
destroy the
but
world.
I feel like it's like actual. Yeah, yeah, like but it's actually real too in like another realm probably. Like that's probably happening in the cognitive realm or whatever, or the spiritual
Mhm.
realm.
Oh, Shadesmar, dude. Trell, man. Trell.
Yeah, who is Trell, bro? Bro, watch it be Odium. What about who else it could be? I feel like Red is Odium, man.
Didn't we hear about Trell in Stormlight?
Did we?
No, Trell was part of the original Mistborn
Yeah,
trilogy.
Trell was
That's
Mm.
like
Odium's born.
side religion.
Oh, who was the god that we heard about in Stormlight that we didn't come back to?
Was there one?
So that, like when he was on trial. Um,
Oh shit, was it? Maybe Troll was brought up then. Oh shit, maybe you're right.
I
With
don't remember
Adeline's
this.
trial, are you talking about?
yeah,
Oh shit. Yeah, maybe you're right.
Chart.
one of the gods was mentioned that we didn't
Yeah.
know about.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Might have been Troll actually. I think you might be right actually. But I don't know. The ending felt a bit like it was too many questions asked. I'm really curious to see where Lost Metal goes, but I guess we'll see.
We're in a similar spot to where we were between Well of Ascension and Hero of Ages. It's like so much shit has to happen, and it did.
True,
I'm
true,
trying to look
yeah.
up if
Hero of Ages.
Trell's in Stormlight, and I'm like just glancing at so many spoilers, so I'm not gonna go down that route.
Oh,
I'm
have
pretty
you
good at
already
avoiding them.
spoiled yourself?
But
Have you already
no,
spoiled yourself?
no, I just skimmed some things that were sketchy, and I left
Oh,
them. I don't remember anything.
you don't remember anything. Okay, okay,
No,
okay.
I'm a magician at that.
Oh
If I
man.
don't talk
Yeah,
about it,
you have your own self censorship filter activated.
you. It's very powerful. I'm the one to do it, but I can't. There was so many things going on there that there was no way I could dissect information and avoid spoilers. It was impossible.
Yeah, let's look it up. Lost Metal first. Lost Metal or Secret History first.
Anything else to say about the ending?
So yeah, I want to talk about
It says it
Marasi.
must be read before the Lost Metal. Do not read Lost. There's a Reddit post. Do not read Lost Metal before Secret History.
Well, guess we got to tag that on.
Dude, it also says
Or-
Warbreaker can be read after, but should also be read before the Lost Metal.
Okay, we're not doing that.
Oh my god. Here, let me see this Reddit post here.
That'll spoil the hell out of you, I think.
Oh, there's a. Okay. There's some plot points. Yeah. Oh, this person saying you should read Secret History after Era 1, and you don't need to read Bands of Mourning first.
Hmm.
Interesting. All right, maybe Bands of Mourning is next. Or I mean, Secret History.
Have you guys seen that investment commercial for TD? recently?
No.
No.
No, it's really good. Like a commercial that's I think an investor's talking to him and like trying to like ask him questions. He's like, whoa, whoa, whoa! I gotta check with the internet first or something. And then it's like a crowd of people, and they're like one's like a kid. It's like just like a bunch of just ridiculous people, like all in a room, like yelling. It's like this is why you should not go online and
Oh,
try to
That's
figure it out
hilarious.
yourself. You should invest in TD, but it's like really good. It's like really well done. I appreciated it, even
That's
though
funny.
I don't invest with a bank, but that's very I do listen to online a lot, but the point was made well.
Mhm.
Anyways, Kieran,
Neat.
yeah, I was just
I had
gonna
something on Marassi.
start the Marassi discussion with the ending for Marassi. I'm confused. Like she gets the power, she uses the power to help Wax, and then she's like, "Now I'm at peace with myself." That's the ending of from Marassi. I don't understand what's happening. Did you guys get more out of this? I don't really know.
I thought it was good.
I think I missed something.
I thought it was good. She's taken a back seat to Wax this whole series, and there's been that inherent frustration all along. I'm not as good as Wax. I'm not as good as Wax. Like all this stuff, and she's been frustrated, and everyone else has been like using her to get to Wax. Finally, she gets the power. She realizes how great it is, but she's like, "This isn't actually what I want." And that answer, because she has it now, and then she can don't know for certain that's not what she wants. It satisfies her entire arc, which is that she actually doesn't want that, so she can just completely relax and not ever care about the comparisons because she's doing her own thing now, and she doesn't actually want to be in the spotlight, and she doesn't want to have the most power. So, yeah, that made sense to me.
Yeah, that's kind of what I got from it too.
Not like super strong, but it's not like
Yeah,
riveting or anything, but it's
it
like
did
Yeah,
seem a bit weird,
yeah.
but yeah, I bought that as like a motivation for her.
Yeah. The way you just described it makes me more satisfied for sure. I still am not completely satisfied with it taking a like godlike force and one singular moment to make her realize that. It seemed like she felt like she was taking the back seat to Wax right up until that moment, and then she was at peace in like a paragraph. So
Mm. I feel like sometimes it takes like a snap
literally
decision.
divine
Yeah.
intervention caused her to change. Yeah,
Mm.
she's like she had to experience it, the power.
yeah, I don't know if that's because the power was so strong that it almost was divine intervention, or if it is just maybe like a shorter time frame than you think. It's like I think that's kind of. I'm trying to think of an
Yeah,
example of
I feel
that.
like I can kind of buy that.
That yeah, that
Like,
if it's realistic in real life. Like you want the race, like you're so excited, to win the race or something, or do well in the race, or for the race, and then you finish it, and it's kind of, I don't know, or I don't know if that's a good example, but I do think there's some things in
I think
life
it's
where you do achieve
believable
the
with
goal,
any.
and right when you do, it's not as
Yeah,
important.
I think what you're saying is like it's true. Like for to in this world, it's believable because there is this power that exists. So if she did feel that power, like the all limitless power at one point, and you could come to that realization, I think, and it does make sense. I guess it just feels like a bit of a shortcut in terms of like from a writing perspective, because other characters have more of a drawn out arc.
I actually have a satisfying analogy to this, but I think it's better off air. Anyways, we
yeah.
can talk about this after the pod.
Leave the viewers hanging.
Sorry, viewers. You can hit me up on the comment section. for my very big insight on life,
Yeah.
which I'll probably forget to tell you guys, and then we'll look back on this one day and really wonder what it is. Hopefully we get to it. So you guys can remember. Yeah. I thought the conversation with Wax and Harmony was incredible.
Yeah, it was
Probably
quite good.
yeah, probably my favorite part of the book, I'd say. I think it was very good. I think it was very much needed, satisfied a lot of things that were frustrating, and
Which things are
it's what we
satisfied
expected.
that was frustrating?
Just like Wax's frustration with Harmony throughout this
Mm.
book and the end of the last book, and the decision with Leslie, and I started to take on some of that anger, even though I knew it was going in this direction, that Harmony was going to have that rant. Like, yo, you step in here, and then. And it also kind of led me to believe that, like, he wants people to have self-choice, so that's why he let Leslie, like, mess with her spikes. And then as soon as she messed with her spikes, like, it was impossible for him to step in again. That's what I kind of gathered, and if that's true, then, like, because she was screwed up then. Like, even if he, like, they put the last spike in, he would have tried to save her at that point. Like, it would have been too late. She would have been so screwed up in the brain. And that, like, when Wax was like talking with her and all that stuff, and her grand plan, like, she was really messed up, and like there's no saving her at that point.
Yeah, I mean, it also
So
seemed like there was influence from another god at play there, which I think
yeah,
is quite important.
yeah, it's true. He made me more satisfied with the whole Leslie thing,
Yeah, I
and
agree.
yeah,
Hmm. Yeah, no, it was convincing, his argument. Again, though, I feel like the I thought that the anger with God was going to be a huge theme of this book, and it wasn't. It didn't feel like it
Mm.
at all.
Yeah, that's
It
fair.
almost felt like he was like, we got to remember that Wax is angry with God. Let's throw it in a couple sentences here and there. It's like,
Yeah.
because I remember
yeah. I
we
wonder if
predicted it specifically, Dylan, but we all predicted together that this was going to be like depression mode for Wax this whole book.
That's true, eh? We did.
Yeah.
I mean, it did come into play in the prologue. But it really didn't end up meaning anything. It was more of just like Wax is being all moody but he goes anyways.
Yeah.
Because God has a plan and he's God's pawn.
yeah, I don't know if it was the intention, but it was definitely an effective plot device to make him not use the earring. But I don't know how much that matters.
Yeah, that's true.
Harmony wasn't a part of this book that much because of that. I don't know if that
Yeah.
was
I don't know.
Sanderson's intention, but
I, I wonder if Wax is gonna have an arc where he learns to like make his own decisions without being like God's pawn by the end of the book. By the end of the next book.
I hope
Just because
so.
yeah, I feel like it would be a bit unsatisfying if he just becomes like God's left-hand man by the end of the series and doesn't like do his own thing, discover himself,
Yeah.
resolve who
I
he
think
really is. Because I feel like he's got
I
like
don't,
a
I
very
don't know.
big like block where he doesn't know who he is as a person.
I predict that I think this will be the nudge. This isn't. It seems like this is intended to be the nudge that Wax needs to make that to go in that direction. It's like it's pretty big conversation. Be like, stop fighting who you really are, and now go, my son.
Yeah.
Kind of gives him the base to go on his own.
All right, anything else, or should we go to highs to lows?
Cream. I was just gonna say, do you guys have any You guys all read Harry Potter or seen the movies?
Yeah.
Yep.
The Dumbledore like Harry Potter scene in the last book
Oh, yeah.
where he dies. I was like, this is basically exactly that.
Dude, it actually was, eh?
Yeah.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I didn't even think about that, but yeah, it's pretty much the
Pass
same
on.
shit.
Or you have duty. It's like, no, it's not duty. It's just who you are as a person. They both return. Okay. I guess that's it.
Highs and lows. Lows for me is gonna be the I feel like just the action scenes in general. Like the train shootout plus the the long warehouse scene.
Warehouse. Yeah.
Yeah.
My low is just the ridiculous plot line. I guess it's not as bad from from them following. Just like them going to Dulcing, I guess was fair. Now looking at it, like I just think I would have been more satisfied if there was a bit more clues to go off of almost in the beginning. But then them going to Tulsing and that whole sequence of the boat leading them to go on like a chase where they arrive there like 20 minutes before the uncle and just everything they had to get from the ship for that to happen and Millet Rassi like seeing the red dude and like just happening to see him and then save him and just I don't know. I
Yeah, it's
don't
okay.
find I find Sanderson's really good at finding that balance, but this book I found
There,
a little too ridiculous. Like usually I'm not the guy that says that, but this one book it took me out of it a little bit. And I think you could always say that with every one of his books, like almost every fantasy book. That's like, oh, it's a little ridiculous, but this one is just a little too far for me to overlook it.
yeah, I can't disagree with you. It was a bit much, I think.
I think if it was longer too, though, that would have helped. If it was another like 200 pages, they could
I was
have.
literally just gonna say it.
Yeah, if
Yeah.
it was longer, it would
My
it would have been
super
better.
generic low was like shorten the action scenes a little bit, but make the book longer and just put a lot more character moments and like elaborate on all the themes that we're kind of trying to nudge the fight for space. Political
Yeah.
stuff, Wax's conflict with God, Marassi character development, Wayne character development. Milan was like basically not a character in this book, except for like a few like meme moments. It's like Milan was basically just like a comedic relief this entire book.
Yeah, she
But she was also
was.
comedic relief in the last book, but at least she had a part
Yeah.
to play.
Yep.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and then maybe Mr. Suit we didn't talk about, but like I don't know, he felt a bit goofy at the end.
Yeah, I don't know. It was a
It's like
bit.
he didn't make any good plays at the end of the book at all.
He was so smart and then just wasn't smart in like 2 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna kill you immediately. I'm gonna have a long like villain monologue with you Wax right now. And then I'm gonna do the same thing and like propose a shootout, turn off the bomb, and like have another long villainous monologue. It's like, oh,
Yeah, it was a bit
That's
over the
weird.
top. Yeah.
Yeah.
oh yeah, and then getting the bands Mourning and be like, they're empty. It's them, but they're empty. It's like, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. There's a bunch of like mini lows there, all wrapped in one. I can't really think of anyone besides like more time and space for things.
Yeah.
But talking about it with you guys right now, like
Feels better
a lot of
than
the
it
parts that I
was.
thought
Yeah.
were a bit drawn out were better. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
High
It was
is
better.
hard for this one though, I feel. At least I'm having trouble thinking of one.
I think if I'm gonna go
I
with a very generic one, I'd say Steris as a character. Very
Dang.
solid, very satisfying parts. Every time she was talking, I was like, just really, really engaged and just like really happy. Just like her parts are just so satisfying because they're just like calling out exactly what she's in, and just it's just so interesting for like a nothing, like a person who's shouldn't be there to like have that look on it, and you know, trying to be helpful in any way she can, and reflecting on it, and then like not like it's just I just thought it was really cool that spin they put on it made her very interesting. Um, and if I'm gonna go specific, I'd probably go with the conversation with Harmony.
Yeah, those are I
also say
dude, I'm struggling to think of anything other than those two.
Going first. No,
the
I'm joking.
train conversation between Wax and Steris, and the ballroom sequence specifically. Everything except for the Calcine part, very good. Um,
I think I quite liked the Wayne and Marasi talking to the like investigating the spike together. That's not my high, but it was good.
that was good.
I enjoyed that.
Yeah, I like the stairs part with Marassi when she like blew her mind at the end. It was like
Yeah, that was good. That was so good.
that, that was just like because you were mentioning stairs parts. Like that part was one of my strongest parts too. She rated herself a 7 out of 100, and she rated Marassi like an 80 or something.
Oh
So
yeah, the ratings. That was funny.
I was like, oh, so good. She sees it
Oh,
out. She's like,
Sarah's such a good character though. She's like, and the gun strapped to the leg with like wearing two pairs of shorts
yeah,
in her dress.
yeah, that was funny.
So
yeah. She tried to wear a shock. She tried to wear a shotgun, but didn't work out. So good.
Yeah, pretty funny.
I can't think of anything else other than like I just enjoyed all of those parts with Stairs. Good, like getting shot off the train with the huge recoil gun.
Yeah.
That was
So
so
many like good Stairs
no
parts.
stairs, no.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll copy you around and go with that. That was good.
Right.
All right.
So I guess we're reading Mistborn Secret History, and then we'll see where we get to. But first half of the next book as well.
Yep.
How long is Secret
Touch
History? That's
base.
the question. I'm gonna find out.
Yeah, I have to figure
What?
that out. I have to go pick it up.
Oh, is that a separate book?
Hmm?
Yeah,
Oh
It's
no, I
part of
have it.
Arcs
Sorry, I
Arcanum.
have it. It is part of ours.
That's part of.
I just gonna have to
Alright,
go
this
back
is a
home and
longer
go
book.
grab it.
544, 528 pages.
Secret History?
44,
Lost Metal.
45,000
Lost Metal.
words.
Yeah, yeah. Lost Metal's bigger.
Oh, that's long. 45,000 words. Damn. That's
Brandon's like,
that's
okay, guys, Mistborn Era 2, we're gonna keep it all short, nice, concise stories. And then he gets to the end and he's like, fuck, I missed so much.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, I did appendix for this.
Yeah.
Oh, speaking of appendices, another great Steris moment when Marasi flies away and she's like, Steris watched her sister fly away. She's like, well, unexpected. Didn't even make the appendix. That one. It's like,
that's good.
that possibility.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Um,
hilarious. Dude, I
maybe
loved
we should just tentatively.
Like,
when they were
Go ahead.
flying when they were driving away from the hotel and she's like, check page 16 of being framed for a murder.
Sorry. Yeah,
That was really good.
That was funny.
Should we just say let's at least read the Mistborn Secret History?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a legit goal. That's a third of the next book in length.
That's reasonable.
Yeah.
I think it's probably like almost 200 pages.
Cool. All right,
All right, guys. Well, nice chatting.
100 pages. Like, Kelsier is alive. The Lord Ruler is alive. Like, just like, information dump, and then done.
All right.
Yep.
Okay.
We have been Books on Tap. We'll be with you next time with some more Mistborn. Catch you later.
Peace.